Man, the fog is thick today. Kind of reminds me of every Thomas Hyliion interview. I'm starting already. What am I going to talk about? Snow. No. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Hyliion. Here's the thing with Hyliion. At this point, I know that if you're watching a new Hyliion video, more than anything else, I believe, not even consciously, I think subconsciously, I really think you're simply looking for some kind of validation, someone to tell you that you made the right decision, despite the numbers that you see on your portfolio in terms of the stock price. And you just need something, someone. We're all looking for the same thing. We're looking for some kind of validation, for some sort of information, for some logical explanation as to why everything that's happened with the stock price over the last year somehow doesn't matter. It does, because it's a direct reflection of the company's performance, more importantly, of the faith that people have and the management team's ability to deliver what they've suggested that they will deliver. And obviously, that faith is at all-time low levels. And right now, I don't see any indication of that changing anytime soon. There you are. Black ice, be careful, dude. Oh yeah, this is all black ice here. If I wipe out, fall, start crying, it'll be perfectly fitting, considering we're making a video about Hyliion stock. So anyways, so again, over the past few months, most of what we're getting from the team really is just, it's excuses and a lot of deflection. When hard questions are asked, we get soft answers, devoid of any substance, devoid of really what we're all looking for. And here's the issue I have with that. I think we're collectively cutting the team a little bit too much slack. Look at it this way. Imagine if you're watching an interview with one of your favorite athletes. You know, the guy gets, or the girl, gets paid a lot of money to perform. They're supposedly on top of their game. Everyone's got faith in them. Would you accept excuses from them? Even if they're valid excuses. Would you want to hear excuses from them on a regular basis? I don't think so, you know? If you're watching an interview with a quarterback and he starts giving you excuses as to why he's just not performing, there's external factors, there's the weather, there's this. Of course you're not going to accept that, you know? You're on top of the league, you're one of the best players in the league. You know, you've got all this potential. Get out there, perform. Because if you don't, you know what's going to happen? Somebody else is out there more than happy to take your place. And that is exactly the situation in business with Hyliion. If they don't deliver, somebody else will be happy to take their place. And unfortunately, at our expense, the investors. Because Thomas, he certainly won't be smarting if this doesn't go well. He's already made bank on this thing. So, that's that. Check out how beautiful this frost is on these trees. That's incredible. Yeah, so I mean, look at this. because of this fog, we have absolutely no clarity. Like, we just can't see. And this is really so fitting. This is so fitting regarding Hyliion. You see, if Hyliion provided us with clarity, like many other companies, this is what you'd be looking at right now. But unfortunately, this is Hyliion we're talking about. So instead we see this. Fog. Lack of clarity. But back to my point. One of the other issues that I find with this company, well, starting with my gimbal that's going all over the place, this is a very polarizing stock, it seems. There's this really strong, fierce camp of defenders of the company and Thomas Healy, which is wonderful in a sense, you know, because it actually reminds me of a lot of companies like Tesla, Apple, a lot of others. You know, they got their fanboys and girls, and no matter what's happening, they're sticking with the company, with the CEO. Come hell or high water, this stock is just, this is it, you know, to the moon. Greatest company in the world, the most amazing CEO ever. When that can be backed by, you know, a certain, sorry, I'm out of breath because I'm out of shape. Developments within the company that are pointing us in the right direction, that's one thing. But with Hyliion right now, everything just keeps going in the wrong direction. And for people to be so steadfast, to dig their heels, to continue defending this at a time where I think a lot of what's happening is indefensible, starts making it feel more like a cult. And that actually worries me as an investor, because that's when people no longer see things clearly. And that kind of approach to investing can and often is detrimental to your portfolio. Anyway, I made another video the other day regarding my thoughts about Hyliion. It was a little bit more, I guess, not crude, just a little bit more direct, I guess. I didn't publish it because the audio was really crappy and a lot of it was out of sync. So I did not publish it. I just shared it with a few of my friends in the Discord group I belong to. Not the Hyliion Discord group. That group, I left that group like quite a few other people, because that group is really, it's like a cheerleading squad. It's almost like watching Fox News in a sense, you know? Unless you're praising the dear leader, then you're banished and that's it. And conflicting ideas that question the thesis are basically quickly shut down, censored, and just, you know, it's so for that reason I left it. But anyways, I made another video, did not publish it because it was kind of rough and choppy the way it turned out, but I think I might publish it alongside this one. Maybe you guys will find something useful in it, or at least entertaining. Something else I was thinking about. As I was saying earlier, Hyliion stock is rather contentious. It's very polarized right now. But all these disagreements that we have, they're really irrelevant to what's happening on the ground. They are. The reality, as I see it, is unless there's a significant change in how the company operates, relates its updates to shareholders, I think the odds are stacked against them. You know, every time I see a question, again, that's asked of Thomas, that's of substance, or at least that's not related to the technical aspect of the offering, because he is an engineer by trade, and or rather by trade, by education. Anything that's outside of that, he just always reverts to the same default. Wow, there's been a tremendous interest among fleets in our offering, and it's always back to the same old, same old. And again, if you're not able to rouse interest, especially during a period where you're not selling anything, or at least not getting actual orders on the book, if you're not able to rouse interest, you're slowly fading into oblivion. And you know, no one remembers the second man on the moon, right? It's the same thing with any sort of solution. People always go to the one company that is synonymous with a certain product, with a certain solution, right? Early on with EVs, if you wanted EVs, who do you talk to? Tesla, you know? If you wanted a fax machine back in the 80s, who do you talk to? Xerox, you know? I feel a continued level of dismay by the fact that there's such an absence of new things being announced, you know? I'm not talking about like a new product or whatever. They only have 2 products, you know? I'm not expecting anything new on that front. But just, again, taking us along for the journey. Even though it's a long journey, it's going to take more time. Keep us updated. You know, as I mentioned in my other video, you know, if you're following someone's expedition to the North Pole, there isn't going to be anything big or new exciting happening every day. But if there are updates, even redundant ones, but updates nevertheless of something happening, anything, even if sometimes it's unrelated to the product itself, which is something fun and funky, keep yourself in the spotlight. Then people will keep talking about you, and you'll be in the consciousness of potential adopters, of investors, of everyone else. That's just not happening with Hyliion. The only people that know about the company are those of us who are, well, right now, bag holders. Outside of that, and outside of their special counsel, does anybody know about Hyliion? You talk to any truckers on a random truck stop, whether it's in the States or even in Europe, and don't tell me, well, they're not targeting Europe at this point. That's irrelevant. When you're creating something that's truly revolutionary, even if you're in a country that's not targeted by that solution, if it's something revolutionary, people will know, people will talk, people will share posts. You know, excitement is going to be generated. That's not the case when it comes to Hyliion. I guarantee if I talk to 10 random truckers in Holland, in Sweden, in Switzerland, I guarantee not one of them will have heard of Hyliion. And that is a problem. And if you don't think that's a problem, you're fooling yourself. To your own detriment, by the way. So anyways, I wish I could add something positive to the conversation at this point, but come on, look at the stock price, look at the way that, you know, truly important questions are often sidestepped, deflected. There's not much positive to say right now. I'm still a shareholder, and I will continue to be, because as I mentioned in my earlier video, I absolutely refuse to sell my shares at this price. But something needs to change. The reality is that, listen, every company that's truly successful had its early stages, phases, where, come on, gimbal, I'm over here. Hey, there you go. This gimbal was rolled out early. And we don't want that to happen with Hyliion, right? We don't want early rollout. That's why this is all taking so long. Anyways, every company that's successful today had its early stages where there was probably a lot of friction among investors, there was a lot of discord, people were disagreeing on the direction of how things should be done, what's missing, what's not, and eventually a company would calibrate itself, recalibrate itself, find its footing to get to a point where they are today, a successful business, right? Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, all these companies went through those phases. Hyliion is going through that phase right now. The question is, are they listening? And are they going to recalibrate to continue improving their chances of success? And if they're not listening, and if questions and suggestions that could potentially help them recalibrate are simply being ignored, then they're not going to get there. And you know, if you look at, for example, investors who I know have attempted to reach out to the company, write to them, contact them, ask certain questions, reach out to investor relations, and according to everything I've been hearing, for the most part, their messages are ignored. There's not even a response of any kind, not even a candid response, not even an acknowledgement of communication being received, just nothing. It's like I said in my earlier video, it's like we're all expendable bricks in a crumbling wall. That's kind of how it feels like, you know? If that's the case, if they appear not to be interested in anything, any advice, any insights, any sort of, you know, conversation that can help them reshuffle, recalibrate, and continue improving and going forward, then yeah, there's going to be dire straits ahead. I don't know, so I guess that's all for now. Obviously, I'm hoping that things will turn around, that there's going to be some reshuffling, one form or another. I don't know, my faith in the ability of the management to take this to the next level is a little shaken at this point, and that's nothing unusual. Every company sometimes reaches a point where they have to make some changes in terms of personnel. People who get you from point A to point B may not necessarily be the most qualified to take you from point B to point Z, you know? So, I don't know. The next ER is really going to be, if it's another flop, if it's another generic, repetitive, redundant, you know, fluff piece, then I think we're all in trouble. I think we're going to start taking up more water than most of us can handle, or even the company itself. So, yeah. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Remember this tree? Remember what it looks like in the summer? What a difference, huh?